Hello everyone. I'm Dr. Shiv Kumar, Head of the Department Civil Engineering, GEMS Engineering Management Technical Campus, Greater Noida. I welcome you all in my lecture based on foundations. So today we'll talk about the foundations. As you know that the foundation is one of the important part of any structure which transfer or transmit the load of superstructure to the subsoil. It must be understood that choice of foundation system and material is affected by the soil. We support the building as well as the potential form of superstructure. So as far as the classification is concerned, the foundations are divided into two categories. The first one is the shallow foundation and the second one is the deep foundation. Shallow foundation means the foundation which have or whose depth is less than the width is known as the shallow foundation. When the foundation is placed immediately beneath the lowest part of the superstructure is known as the shallow foundation. In this type, the depth of foundation is equal or less than the width of the foundation. The shallow foundation is further divided into several parts like spread footing. The spread footing transmitting the superimposed load which coming from wall or column over a large spread area is known as spread footing. In general term, all types of foundations are termed as spread footing as they are made wider to distribute the load, but following foundations are categorized as the type of spread footing. So spread footing is further divided into its part. Which one is single footing, as shown in the figure. Here the foot is given to the column which transmit the load to the subsoil. The function of the foundation is remain same for all types of foundation, is to transmit the load of superimposed structure to the soil. Here we can see the stepped footing. You can see in the first figure there stepping which have been provided below the column. Next is the slope footing. Here we have provided the slope to the footing. Next is the wall footing with step and wall footing without step. Both are shown in that figure. So basically, when the load is higher and it has to be transmitted through to the soil, so it can be only possible by providing the footing or the type of foundation. It's totally depend on the material, the strength. It provides a stability to the structure, and the life of the structure is dependent on the quality of material which have been used for cast the foundation and the design of the foundation. Next is the grillage foundation. The grillage foundation is a special type of isolated foundation generally provided when bearing capacity of soil is comparatively poor. The depth of foundation is kept in between 1 to 1.5 meter. There are two types of grillage foundations. The first one is the wooden grillage foundation and the second one is the steel grillage foundation. The basic difference in between the two of the foundation is the type of material. In wooden grillage foundation, the wood has been used, and in the steel grillage foundation, you can see here the I section is used for the casting of this steel grillage foundation. The next one is the combined footing. The combined footing is provided based on the following condition which is mentioned in the PPT, like when the columns are very near to each other and it's not possible to provide the individual footing to individual column, or bearing capacity of the soil is less, or the end column is near to a property line so that footing cannot be spread in that direction. So we provide in all that situation, we provide the combined footing. So footing is extended, and as is shown in that figure, the single footing is provided for 2 columns. So it may be provided for 2 or more columns in case it is required. The next is strap footing. The strap is basically a beam, RCC beam, which connect the strap, which connect normally the footing of 2 individual column. So in this footing, 2 or more footings of individual columns connected by the beam, which is called strap. When using combined footing, if the distance between the 2 columns is far, it may be high bending moment and also costlier. Now come to the last type of shallow foundation, which is mat or raft foundation. This footing covers the entire area beneath the structure and supports all walls and columns. When the allowable soil pressure is low or building loads are heavy, the use of spread footing would cover more than 1/2 of the area, and it may be proved more economical to use mat foundation. It is provided in those areas where the soil bearing capacity varies at different points. So this is all about the shallow foundation, in which we have studied the 4 types of different foundations. Now come to the deep foundation. So deep foundation are defined as those foundations which have the greater depth than the width. So when the depth of foundation is very large in comparison to the width, it is known as deep foundation. This foundation is used in huge building construction, and it can be constructed by ordinary method of open pit excavation. There are so many types of deep foundations are available. But as far as the material and the casting method is concerned, it is classified. There are 2 types of classification is available. So first we study about the deep foundation, which is known as the pile foundation. The pile foundation is much more common than any other type of deep foundation, following out the situation in which the pile foundation can be preferred. The first one is the load of superstructure is heavy and its distribution is uneven. Large fluctuations in the subsoil water level. The topsoil is expensive in nature or having the poor bearing capacity. So in all that situation, the pile foundation is preferred. Now come to the, based on the function, the pile can be classified into 5 categories. They are end bearing piles, friction piles, compaction piles, tension piles, and last anchor piles. So we'll discuss in all 5 types of piles in next slide. Yeah, friction piles. As it has been shown in that figure, if you can see that here we have the vertical black arrows along with the pile vertically upward, which is the force of friction applied on the skin of the pile by the granular soil. And here we can see the load of superstructure on the pile. The next is the end bearing piles. The end bearing piles means the end of the bearing pile is under the hard strata where it can transfer the load of superstructure to the hard substratum. It can be provided, or it is provided in all that soil where the soil property is comparatively loose, or you can say the soft soil is available. The next is the compaction piles. Here we can see the horizontal arrows in between the piles. So they are just applying the force of compaction over the piles. That is why the name compaction piles is given to them. Compaction piles are used to compact loose granular soil, thus increasing their bearing capacity. So here we can see that in between the piles, the soil is being compacted by the piles. The next one is the tension piles. Here we can see that the turning force which is applied by the superstructure to the piles, and the force of friction is working downward in the direction. So this is called the tension piles. The next and last is the anchor piles. Here we can see in the piles there is a granular pile material filled in that, and in between the pile the anchor rod is provided, and at the bottom the anchor plate is provided. So this is about the piles. The next classification is based on the material and composition of the piles. Number one, concrete piles. They are categorized into 4 different divisions. The first one is the precast pile. Precast means the piles which has been cast at a different place from another other from the construction site. It means in a yard or in a factory, we prepare the foundation as per the design requirement. We cast them. The only benefit of the precast piles is the quality. We can ensure the quality of material. We can ensure the finishing of the product. The next one is the cast in situ. It means the casting of piles at the site. So material may be prepared from where else, and that patch of the concrete is poured into that RCC frame, and the piles can be constructed. Next is the driver piles. They may be of 2 types, cased and uncased. And the next one is the board piles, which is further divided into different types of piles, like pressure piles, underramed piles, and board compaction. The next is timber piles. The timber piles is made up of timber, steel piles. They are categorized into 3 types: H piles, pipe piles, sheet piles. And the last is the composite piles. So composite piles means the material applied to cast for the composite piles are more than 2 or more than 2. So we have classified into 2 categories or divided into 2 categories. The first one is the concrete and timber, and the second one is the concrete and steel. There may be a third category, which may be timber and steel. So composite piles means 2 or more materials have been applied to cast the piles, which is known as the composite piles. The next is the kaizens. Well, kaizen. The term kaizen is derived from a French word. It means chest or box. The kaizen has come to mean a box-like structure, rounded or rectangular, which is sunk from the surface of either land or water to some desired depth. On that basis, the kaizen may be of 3 types. The first one is the box kaizen. Box kaizen foundation is open at the top and closed at the bottom. It is made up of concrete, steel, RCC, or timber. It is used where bearing stratum is available at shallow depth and where loads are not very heavy. The closed box kaizen are used for break water and seashell or sea balls. Here you can see that the box, this is the plan. In the plan, it is the top of that kaizen box, and here we can see the section of that in which the sand is filled and compacted in that box, and over that the superstructure can be constructed. The next is the open kaizen. In this type, it is made up of timber, metal, RCC, or masonry, which is open at the both ends, top and the below. Both the ends are open, and this type of foundation is provided in the building and the bridge. If the depth foundation is more than 5 to 7 meters, then open excavation becomes costly and uneconomical. The last one is the pneumatic Kaizen. The pneumatic Kaizen are closed at the top and open at the bottom during construction. The essential feature of the pneumatic Kaizen is that compressed air is used to exclude or remove water from the working chamber at the bottom, and the excavation are thus carried out in dry condition. So here we can see that we have provided a pipe which is providing the compressed air in the chamber, working chamber, and the blowout pipe is which help to drain out the liquid or water from the working chamber. So this is all about the foundations, in which we have talked about the shallow foundation and the deep foundation. In the next lecture, we will discuss about some stone masonry, which is one of the important part and provide the aesthetic or improve the aesthetic look of the building or any construction or the elevation. So thanks to all of you. We'll meet again in our new lecture. Till then, goodbye.